The Israeli military is continuing its offensive in southern Gaza despite calls for the operation to be halted to prevent the loss of more civilian lives. Algeria has said it would draft a UN resolution calling for an end to the killing. The US has vetoed previous resolutions and says it still considers the Israeli campaign in Rafah to fall short of what it deems a major ground operation. However, it said the deaths on Tuesday of 21 more people in a disabled persons camp were heartbreaking. Israel has denied firing on the area. Let's cross over live to Jerusalem where our correspondent Yolande Nell joins us. Yolande, the White House says the US continues to believe that Israel has not launched a full-scale invasion of Rafah in southern Gaza. Despite that, what does this mean for the people already displaced there? Where can they go? That remains a big question. We've continued to see people flee in the past day, heading north along the coastline and to Khan Yunis, a city previously devastated by a full-scale Israeli ground offensive seen as a Hamas stronghold. This morning, we heard of further Israeli airstrikes in Rafah, especially in the west of the city, an area where Palestinians had not been told to evacuate previously. Israeli ground forces have advanced into the center of Rafah and along the Gaza-Egypt border. Washington's assessment last night indicated that it still sees this as a limited operation, not crossing its defined red lines, which would lead to US military aid to Israel being stopped. The US has said it is closely monitoring Sunday's deadly strike on a tent camp in the west of Rafah, where at least 45 Palestinians were killed. The Israeli military said it used precise bombs to target 2 Hamas commanders in that area. The US called the resulting fire tragic, while the Israeli military suggested that secondary explosions from Palestinian weapons might have been responsible. A proposed UN Security Council resolution is now circulating, put forward by Algeria after yesterday's closed-door emergency session. Algeria calls for an end to the killing in Rafah. However, the US has vetoed multiple resolutions at the UN Security Council calling for ceasefires in Gaza. As Yolande mentioned, the Israeli military is continuing its offensive in southern Gaza. My colleague Lucy Williamson reports that Rafah, once Gaza's refuge, is now emptying. Those still sheltering are fleeing amid airstrikes and artillery fire, taking whatever they need to survive. There has been no evacuation order from Israel's army, and many have no sense of where to go. I'm just walking in the street. I don't know where to go. There's nowhere safe. Where should we go? This is not a life, said one displaced resident. In the displacement camp at Taz Suan, still scarred by fires triggered in an Israeli airstrike on Sunday, dozens are dead, and survivors are spent. Israel says its operation in Rafah is key to defeating Hamas, and that Sunday's strike on Hamas commanders in the camp was carried out with precise munitions that alone could not have caused so many deaths. We're talking about munitions with 17 kilos of explosive material. This is the smallest munition that our jets can use. Following this strike, a large fire ignited for reasons that are still being investigated. Our munition alone could not have ignited a fire of this size, an Israeli military spokesperson said. While people fled today, Gaza's health ministry said more than 20 were killed in fresh airstrikes to the west, over half of them women. As Gaza's last urban center begins to fall under Israeli control, 3 European nations have officially recognized a Palestinian state. Like, share, subscribe.